Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. And here we go. A dragon. My heart races like a runaway spool of thread. I thrust myself in front of Luna. Pumpkin orange flames hiss and spill from the dragon's direction, blasting us away with a wave of heat. Luna, get back, I shout. My voice cuts through the air like a needle through silk, full of worry that even if my body is soft, my resolve is sharp as steel. For a ragdoll like us, there's no greater danger than fire. Oh, man. When we have tender for bones, our bodies ignite with a single spark of our cloth skin catches fire. We can turn to ash before a scream can even leave our throats. And a fire-breathing dragon, the danger there is not only fire but claws and teeth, easily capable of shredding fabric. A shadow eclipses my mind, not a vision, but a fear of what may come. I see spinning, spiny trees on fire. Thick smoke blackens the sky like bats in flight. A wall of ravenous fire descends on Luna and me, huddled against the fiery storm. As all my dreams go up in smoke, I blink and the fear is gone. I can't let that happen. My body springs into action, pulling Luna away from the dragon's flames and shielding her behind the sturdy trunk of a nearby tree. Then I thrust a hand into my pocket and pull out Ruby Valentino's bottle of rose water. As smoke snags in my throat, I stagger towards the fire with one arm raised to protect my face. Each step closer feels like 1,000 hot pin pricks against my skin, but I press on until I can douse the flame, which spits out deadly sparks as it sizzles. Sally, your leg, Luna warns as I peek out from behind. As she peeks out behind the tree, from behind the tree, an ember grows like a malignant scar in my seams. With a swift pat of my hand, the smoldering sparks. I smother these sparks before it spreads. The dragon releases a strange cry up to the daytime moon. What does that even mean? Swiftly, I free a spare needle from my pocket, banishing it against the beast. Cry out, Expander? Oh, it's the witch's spell. Expandera. Mirroring the witch sisters in their magical demonstration, I tap the air. I tap the air 2 feet from the needle's tip. The needle expands my hand, long and pointed as a knight's sword. A blinding ray of light reflects off the sharp blade tip. Stay back, I order the dragon in slow, commanding words that springs from deep within my bones, and my long hair swirls behind me like a crimson flag whipping in the wind. The dragon doesn't let loose a fiery blast as I braced for. It doesn't gnash its terrible teeth or bare its 6-inch claws. Instead, it blinks its big, soft amber eyes at me and immediately shies back from the needle sword. My lungs burn, reminding me to breathe. I circle the dragon slowly, still brandishing the sword. He's about 4 feet tall at the shoulder, roughly the size of a pony. 2 knobby horns raise from his forehead. Rough scales cover his back with a range of colors as deep, rich crimson and 2 fiery orange. Around his belly, the scales catch the hinterland, slanting light to give him a crystalline glow from snout to tail. 2 membranous wings are folded at his side. His powerful tail snakes around the ground, half hidden behind a circle of campfire rocks. The needle sword's moods base fits perfectly into the contour of my palm, and I squeeze it tightly. The dragon ducks his head low, scoffing was just roasting apples. Wait, what? Scorch was just roasting apples. He clutches a tattered blue scarf around his neck. It's a dragon's favorite food with sprinkle of cinnamon. He digs up around a leather satchel strapped across his chest and holds up a tin that gives off a spicy, sweet aroma from ground cinnamon bark. My breath caught in my throat as I step backwards, my thought bubble and boil in a dizzying boil. Roasted apple, cinnamon. I thought we were in mortal danger. I lower my needle sword to give the clearing more searching inspection. There is still a fire, but the flames are bound by a ring of campfire stones. There is a small fire on the opposite side of the clearing, but it belongs to the dragon himself. His powerful tail is tipped into a controlled flame that sways in the breeze. His powerful tail is tipped with a controlled flame that sways in the breeze. Is this Charizard? Wait a minute. Hang on. Look, give me a second. I gotta. 1 minute. No. That I read the description correctly. This is just King Charizard. Okay. He doesn't breathe fire. It comes from his tail. Though the dragon's jaw holds massive fangs, of which is slightly crooked. His eyes are large, gentle, and intelligent. Don't hurt Don't hurt him, Sally, Luna cries out as she tumbles out from her hiding spot to wrap her silk hands around my needle sword, steel shaft, needle sword, steel shaft. She gently guides it away from the dragon. Don't you see? The sweet remedy potion led us to him. I blank the potion. Do you see? Don't you see? We've lost our way and now we've found someone to help. Her eyes are two perfect circles that expects some sharp, exact same sharp as the dragon's. I hesitant, eyeing. I hesitate. What the fuck am I reading? Hesitate, eyeing the dragon. Can it be true? When I asked for the sweet remedy potion to find our lost way, I certainly wasn't thinking of it leading us to a beast who could incinerate us with one swing of his fiery tail. But on the other hand, I suppose hope comes in strange form. Scorch is friendly, the dragon offered, but first with a slow blink of his amber eyes. Scorch means you no harm. The fire is from roasting apples, not rag dolls. A cotton puff of smoke raises from his nostrils with a start. I realize he just gave a chuckle. Scorch, I repeat, the needle sword still raised. That's your name? His head dips in a nod. My pulse starts and stops like a sputtering hearse, but then slowly steadies out, and I ask, "What are you doing in the hinterlands?" His his tiny pink-lined ears lift. Scorch comes from a land called Fabletown. A quest to prove his valor has sent Scorch into these woods. A quest, I echo. But aren't dragons usually the ones who will heroes slay on quests? As soon as I say it, his amber eyes fill with sadness, and a tear of liquid fire rolls out from the corner of his eyes and falls to the ground, searing into the dirt. I clap my hands over my mouth. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. It's just that in every fable I've heard, dragons are the villains. Scorch away. Weeps another molten tear away. Wipes another molten tear away with the tip of his tail. No, you're right. It's true. Dragons have long been feared and hunted, and for good reason. All the other fire-breathing dragons in Fabletown delight in destruction. It's the primary creed of dragons, with teeth or white and tail of fire. We are the terrors that won't retire. He huffs, a smoke-filled sight as he rumbles, slumps to the ground, tail sagging in the dirt. I don't understand, I say. If it's true, then why did you want to prove your valor on a quest? Scorch is a misfit dragon. Scorch comes from an orphaned egg that rolled away from another dragon's nest. He hatched alone in the woods. He was alone and afraid until he was found by an elderly gnome couple. They had been great heroes in their youth. They raised Scorch to be kind and brave. and now Scorch is the only dragon who wants to be a hero. If Scorch completes a quest, they might let him live in Hero Haven. My hand flies to my chest, seems in sympathy for his sad story. If I knew anything, it's how it feels to be thrust into a world you weren't born into. See, Sally, Luna asks as she rests her hand on my wrist. He's a friend. My head still roaring like a night storm, on alert for danger, but my heart takes Luna's words into consideration. Slowly, I lower my needle sword. What a wonder Luna is. When faced with a dragon wielding an element that could render her to ashes in seconds, she reacts with kindness. This is how I would have been if I hadn't been stolen away from my home, as out of place as a dragon egg. If I had grown up surrounded by laughter instead of stone, with lullabies instead of nightmares, my heart briefly flutters. It aches to think of the trusting little girl I might have been if my life had taken a happier path. Maybe I have as much to learn from Luna as she does from me. All this time, I thought I was the one setting an example for her, like an experienced big sister, but really, she's my example of a pure hearted soul, too. Under my breath, I speak contractora to return my needle to its normal size, and I tuck it away in my pocket comfortably to know that with a few words, it can once more be a sword. In a way, I'm grateful to have grown up in Halloween Town because it forged me into a mighty queen. Jack's heart would burst with pride to see me standing up to a dragon with fire in my eyes and a tailor's sword in my hand, defending someone smaller than me. But there are times for peace too. If that's true, I say to the dragon, still cautious, we are in need of a hero. The dragon's tail fire ignites with a warm blast. Scorch has all kinds of gadgets for quests. This is Scorch's found object collection, see? His leather satchel clinks and clatters as he pulls out a tinted lantern, a tin cup, a wooden soup spoon, a brass spyglass, and a pair of dice. That's all great, I start. But what we really need is something to show the way to where Time Town is hidden doors are. A map, perhaps. Do you happen to have one of those in your bag? Scorch does not. Dragon's head sags, and the intensity of his tail dims to a barely there sputter. He slowly packs away his treasure, but as he slides the spyglass back into the bag, his tail fire peaks back up. Scorch can take you to Lady Lore. She rules over Fabletown, and her magic cauldron knows all the answers. Luna and I trade questioning looks, cautiously. Curiosity twinkling in her eyes like dew on a spider web. I'm more hesitant. A new world means new dangers, just like with Father Time. We have no way of knowing if this Lady Lore is a friend or foe. Besides, I'm already pulled so many directions, stretched so thin, frayed at the seams. Can I take the Can I take the determined of another world too? Oh, can I take the demands of another world too? Scorchy flicks his tail as he waits for my decision, tongue lolling out from between his lopsided fangs, like zeros when he's waiting for me to throw a bone. The strings of my heart clench tight, thinking of Jack, vibrating with the delicate hope of seeing him again. For all the risks, I would do anything to get Jack back. Finally, I bob my head in a nod. Okay, Scorchy, we'll take our chances. Take us to Fabletown. Fabletown's door is set in a sprying live oak whose naughty trunk rivals the size of the largest mausoleums in our cemetery. I suppose the door has to be this large to fit a dragon. After all, with a canopy of certain serpentine branches that extends like the wizard, swollen knuckled fingers of a witch. The knots are so smooth to the touch that I know this tree must be hundreds of years old, thousands even, maybe even the first tree to exist in the hinterlands. For what is older than fables themselves, a voice whispers in my mind, distant tinkers of laughter like fairy bells, rustling their shimmering leaves. Everything about this tree whispers of ancient storybooks and streaming spiced tea and castle halls filled with lute music. A picture of an open storybook carved into the door along with words so time worn that I trace them with my fingers to read them. Once upon a time, I recite aloud in a voice so breathy as a spell. Breathy as a spell. At my words, the door cracks open. A faint melody from within calls to me, along with the sound of rushing water and someone softly crying. The air holds a trace of salt. Ready, Luna? I ask. Luna can't keep the smile off. her silken lips as she nods, bouncing from one foot to the other. I can't believe it. We're already going to a world of stories just like the ones my parents wrote. I'm struck with realization that this is part why Luna is so instantly drawn to to the kindly dragon. He reminds her of her parents' bedtime stories, a character she didn't even know existed outside of a book, living and breathing with a lopsided grin. I provoke. I provoke. I pivot towards the dragon Scorchy. His pink-rimmed ears pop up to attention. Scorchy will be right behind you. I shudder my eyes thinking of Jack and jump. A rush of darkness meets me, the familiar falling feeling like a leaf on the autumn breeze. Someone is singing a mournful, alluring song that makes my ears itch with longing, and then water. With a cry, I splash into a vast ocean, my cloth arms flailing uselessly, legs kicking wildly, thoughts churning fastest of all. Water, water, in every world I've tumbled into through a doorway. There's only been leaves or sand or snow, not water. In a flash, I'm sinking down, down, down. Panic thickens in my throat like a cobweb. Breathe, Sally, just breathe. Only I can't breathe. My lungs are filled with water. Like Lennon waits, salt water stings my eyes as I beat my arms and blink into the murky depths, searching for Luna. Soon a storm of bubbles erupts ahead. Luna's arms flail wildly as she crashes into the ocean and sinks just like me. Ragdolls can't swim. Our cloth bodies absorb water and sink. I strain towards Luna, crawling at the water with my fingernails. Finally, her waterlogged hand brushes mine, and I grab tight. My heart sweat salty tears. My heart weeps salty tears of relief that burst like a bubble. We're together, but we're still sinking. More bubbles churn behind us, and just as my vision blackens around the edge, two scaly arms lock around my chest. Enormous, inky claws pierce the fabric at my shoulder, and pain rips through me like a torn seam. I feel myself being lifted towards the water, up, up, and up. I focus all my strength on not letting go of Luna's hand. At least my hand, at least my head crests the water, and I sink into desperate, gasping, desperate. Yeah. All right, let's try that again. This time, not stupid. My head crests the water, and I suck in desperate gasp of air. My lungs recede as water surges up my throat, and a several sorry throat in a series of violent coughs. Still clenching me by the shoulder. Scorchy threads water with his powerful hind legs, his wings stretched out on each side like a catamaran's hulls to keep us afloat. Clenching my jaw, I fight through the surge of pain and use my free hand to grip the base of one of his wings. As soon as I have a secure grip on him, his claws finally release me. Glancing down, I see 10 shredded holes in my dress, one for each of his claws, gritting my teeth so hard I'm afraid they'll crack. I use my remaining strength to pull Luna out of the water. She finally emerges, coughing up salt water, salty tears streaming down her face. Sadly, her voice wobbles. Luna, hold on. My muscles strain as I haul her close to Scorchy. A pain groan breaks up my throat as she grabs my pierced shoulder to pull herself to his neck. But then her hand, secure around him, her chest rising and falling fast, eyes rimmed in red. She's okay, we're okay. Climbing onto Scorch's back, the dragon shouts over the waves, twisting his long neck backwards so he can tap his chin on the row of thick scales that runs down his spine. Straining, I climb up and hoist Luna behind me, my lungs burning, my limbs soaked through and heavy as cement bricks. His scales down his back are rough and grunting? Yeah, grunting, grating my soft skin, but I steel my strength and settle on his back, then twist around to ensure Luna is secure. Her dripping yarn hair clings to her face. Dying salt stains appear on her reddened cheek patches. Are you okay? I ask, though her eyelids hung low with exhaustion. She nods. I'm okay. Once we're steady, Scorch swims with powerful strokes towards a nearby sandy shore. As soon as I can catch my breath, I peer over the summery blue sky we fell through. I have to tell Jack about this. As we bob on the waves, I hear a mournful song again. A woman is stranded on some rocks ahead. She lies half submerged in the tide, clutching a boulder. Ice white hair clings to the side of her face. So beautiful, she belongs in a painting. Catching sight of us, she lifts a weakened hand to point to a shipwreck on a rocky shore. Please help me. My ship ran aground. Luna taps my leg, urgently. I lean forward to call up Scorchy's ear. We have to help her. He firmly shakes his head no. My back straightens in alarm, but she needs help. Don't listen to a mermaid, he warns. over his shoulder. Never listen to a mermaid or anyone else seeking your help in the Fable Sea. For that matter, a mermaid, my lips form a perfect O as my head wobbles between him and the stranded woman. From where I sit, she looks just like a helpless shipwreck victim. He has to be mistaken. I sputter. You said you wanted to be a hero, Scorch. Here's your chance. He snorts and twists smoke rings. Oh, and twin smoke rings rise from his nostrils. There are hundreds of stories yearning to be played out in Fabletown. If you're down into a quest for goblin gold, wait a minute. Yeah. If you're drawn into a quest for goblins gold, or a foot race against a rabbit, or a mission to rescue a blind prince from a tower, you might never return to your own story. Luna and I share a wide-eyed look as we float past the woman who only sobs and cries out for us louder. I spy a swish of green scales beneath the water where her legs should be. I clasp my hands to my mouth. That pretty liar. When she realizes I can see her tail, the sobs melt off her face, and she gives me a sharp-toothed smile before diving into the water with a gracefully swimming away. See, Scorch said. Trust Scorch. Scorch knows all villains in Fabletown. Yeah, there are very few happy endings for mermaids in stories. It isn't long before the waves carry us to a sandy beach, and carefully I climb off Scorch's back and help Luna down. Once the dragon is out of the water, the tip of his tail ignites with a sputtering spark, then glows into a cozy fire. Luna and I huddle around his tail fire, letting the toasty heat dry us until we're left only slightly damp to the touch. With salt stain dusting our cheeks, I hug my knees and gaze up at the storybook blue sky. Despite nearly drowning and narrowly avoiding a mermaid's song, I'm intrigued by this new world. I'm curious about their rules. Determined. Wait a minute. Their rulers. Wait a minute. I'm curious how their ruler determines what makes a hero and what makes a villain. One has the crowd on their side. It's as simple as that. I can't be as simple as which side of town a character lives on. If they, here we go. If they have horns or halo or sword or use swords or spells, there might have been a time when I thought good and evil were clear cut, but that's all changed when Jack set out to save Christmas. Oh, but that all changed when Jack set out to save Christmas and ended up ruining it instead. He became the villain instead of the hero he yearned to be. And what about me? I'm living in a world of monsters who by most reckoning would be considered villains, yet that's the last way I think about gentle behemoth, sweet zero, friendly undersea gal. Do they think of me as a hero simply because I come from a land of sweet dreams? Of course not. If they look at me with the same admiration, it becomes my sorry about that. Becomes my efforts as queen, not the crown alone. Once we've caught our breaths, Scorch leads us inland along a sandy path. We pass a man in a tunic made out of sewn together oak leaves, digging frantically through the sand. I've lost my flute. He wails, a giant burst. Hang on. Ah. A giant buried it somewhere on this beach, and if I don't get it back, I can't play for the princess's wedding. I give Scorch and Luna a questioning look, but Scorch shakes his head and lets loose another puff of smoke, so I keep to the path. The beach gives way to a farmland, and as soon as we come upon a farm girl and boy leading a cow whose spots are as dark midnight blue, the girl scolds her brother with a wagging finger for spilling a bucket of milk everywhere. The milk soaked into the ground. Blue bonnets crop up. So many stories, I think dizzily. Each one tugs at me like a mystery begging to be solved. It seems every person we pass has a treasure box with an enchanted lock, or a talking goose, or is been chased by a troll. A part of me loves these glimpses into half-finished stories, like flipping through the pages of a book only to read every 10th line. Jack and I love to spend our evenings reading to each other by candlelight tales about pirates and fairies and ghosts, and I'd give anything for him to be here with me. I dart alongside. Hang on, what did I just do? I dart alongside, glancing at Luna, wondering what she thinks about this world. After all, her whole life revolves around bedtime stories. Fables flow through her silken veins like blood. Her heart beats with the very turn of each new page. I grin to see that, sure enough, she's full moon-eyed and drinking in every hazy, every half-burned brick, every rusty key. The sun is hovering over the horizon. By the time Scorch leads us into a darkened forest, the gnarled trees cast thick shadows, and mysterious footsteps seem to come from every direction at once. My cloth skin, still not entirely dry, takes on a chill. The dark pitch forks several times. The dirt patchforks several times, and without Scorchy, I'm sure I'd be lost entirely. We come across a fox in a tailored suit sitting atop an ancient stone with a precariously balanced slice of pie beside him. He hops down with a sly grin. Friends, fresh chestnut pie for sale, only a penny. He a slice. His eyes light up when he spots Scorch, a fellow villain. Excuse the ruse, my brother. I did not recognize you at first. Don't touch the pie. They're filled with pebbles. He cracks. He cackles wickedly and slaps his leg. The three of us stop, and Luna quietly moves closer to me until she can brush my hand. I take her and squeeze. I take her and squeeze 3 times for reassurance. Scorches tail fire, which seems to swell and shriek. Sorry about that. Which seems to swell and shrink based on his mood, simmers into a low, dangerous hiss. Scorch is not villain. The fox slaps his knee again and whoppers with a laugh. Of course you are. All dragons are. Not Scorch. The fox waved his clawed finger at Scorch. Have you defeated a ferocious beast? Scorch's tailfire dims. No. Have you slain a monster? The fire dims more. No. Have you saved a realm from a terrible curse? Now only a barely there spark sputters on his majestic tailfire. Well, no. The fox throws his paws in the air. Ah, see, you're no hero, brother, nor should you wish to be. Drop that long face. Being a villain is so much more lucrative and, dare I say, fun. Listen, we're having a gathering tonight at Rogue's Liar Tavern. Come share a tale of your most wicked devilry over a pint. With his pink ears sagging to the side, Scorch looks so despondent that I'm afraid his tailfire will extinguish for good. I nudge Luna and we flick the dragon, resting our hands on his sandpaper scales. Come on, Scorch, I whisper. Let's keep going. His ears perk up a little as he begins blotting. Yeah, that word is plotting down the path. It's kind of you to extend your invitation. I call back to the fox, but I'm afraid we must go. I give Scorch a comforting pat and whisper, you saved us from drowning despite where you came from. It's what's in your heart that makes you a hero. Never forget that. Someone's been reading too much Superman comics. His tailfire brightens as soon as we come to the forest edge where a ramshack village hunkers in the bend of a river. The worn, snugging wooden buildings don't seem to have ever seem to have ever seen a broom, and yet there's a scampish festival spirit in the air. Cracking laughter spells out from a tavern called the Wicked Cup. A human-sized snake by the door plucks a roguish melody on a lute with the tip of his tail. A crew of pirates stumble out of the tavern singing a rowdy song in a language I don't know. We pass a tailor shop where a wolf is getting fitted for a sheep costume. Costume up to no good, naturally. The air is thick with the smell of moldy books and sour ale. An iron gate around a graveyard groans, and somewhere chains rattle. This is Villain Village. Scorch herds us past a witch selling apples by the side of the road. A jar marked poison is half hidden under her cot. Home of bandits, rapscallions, and scallywags of the worst degree. Unexpected tenders of pleasure raffle my linen skin. Unexpected tendrils of pressure rattles my linen skin. I can't help fit this place's rattling chains and distant screams remind me of Halloween Town. Even though I'm from a land of dreams, the Pumpkin Queen in me steps forward, feeling like I'm home among the crackling gates and black-hearted monsters. Scorch's simple logic might lead him to disagree, but I don't care what labels these people might carry. Villain, witch, demon, rogue. I'll judge for myself if they're worthy of our time. After all, heroes aren't born from the light. They emerge from the depths of their fear, blazing a brave trail. Labels falter, crumble, and fall away as easy as autumn leaves. That's pretty fucking deep, Sally. Just look at the Sandman, once a great king turned to darkness. In the town center, an iron statue of a rearing horse presides over the villainous riffraff. Its dark mane rides the wind, its golden eyes catch a fading sunlight. Luna stops to admire the statue. That's not a statue. That's the nightmare. Okay, I guess it is. Scorch says in a hushed voice, it's a magical horse from a mysterious realm that can be summoned by a dark incantation. Don't worry, it's only a legend. No one has actually seen the nightmare. It's only rumored to exist, but even villains love fanciful tales. I clap my hands and turn a slow circle to take in the town's muddy cobblestone streets underfoot. and the distant howling of wolves. Villain Village reminds me of home back in Halloween Town. Scorch's head jerks upright as his wide amber eyes fix on me. You're from Halloween Town? I smile and nod. You've heard of it? Oh yes, everyone in Fabletown knows of the land where werewolves and witches and ghosts. It's greatly admired here in Villaintown. I flinch, thinking of Sweet Zero, who is the kindest ghost I know. Well, there are a lot of monsters there, but I hardly call them villains. They're friends of mine. In fact, I'm married to the most delightful skeleton you'd love. You'd love him. He's fond of stories too, and is a brave adventurer who's gone on countless quests. Scorch, previously steady, tail flame sputters. A hero in Halloween Town. It's true, Luna pipes up, bouncing on her toes. And Sally is a hero too. She united all the realms for greater peace. She organized an exchange program for holiday exhibitions. I cut Luna off by coughing loudly, then double over and pat my chest with my cloth, that cloth fist. Pardon me, all this suffering, sulfur and brimstone in the air irritates my linen. Truthfully, I don't want Luna talking loudly about the exchange program in Villaintown full of rogues. Someone sabotaged the sweet dream potion and broke the Halloween clock. The culprit could very well be a villain in this very village. Is that Fabletown? To change the topic, I point across a high stone bridge to where on the other side is a ravine, a cheerful town clustered around a towering castle that sparkles like it's made entirely of glass. Follow Scorch. Scorch says his fire freshly kindled. Scorch will take you to Lady Lore now. As we head for the stone bridge, I slide one last look around Villaintown. Though it has all the comforts of home, I have to remind myself that it's actually full of unknown. Great. First we got Charizard, now we got the unknown here. Alright, that is the end of Chapter 10. That was actually relatively pleasant. I can't believe they have a dragon that's literally just Charizard in my head. I'm sorry. Anyway, we'll be picking up Chapter 11 later. Thank you all for listening, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.